Aliens sent a distress call. They didn't expect Deathworlders to answer. The soft, blinking lights of consoles reflected off his weathered face. He had been on countless missions, many of them dangerous, but this one felt different. The message on the main screen was weak, broken, and almost unreadable, yet it carried something in its tone that made his blood run faster. A distress call. "Captain," said Lieutenant Claire Benson, her sharp green eyes fixed on the screen. She was reviewing the message, tapping at the console with careful precision. "The signal is alien. I haven't seen anything like this before. It's coming from the Andara system about 40 light-years from here. It's faint, but it's real." Ryan leaned forward, squinting at the garbled words. The aliens were asking for help, begging for help, but it was hard to understand the details. Something about their world, something dangerous that threatened their lives. Most humans in the galaxy would have ignored such a call. Some would have sent diplomats, armed advisors, or even observers. But Ryan was different. Deathworlders were not like normal humans. He had survived storms that could crush cities, creatures that could tear a grown man apart, and planets where life itself fought you at every step. Danger was a friend. "I can feel it, Claire," Ryan said softly. "This is going to be big, and they need us." Claire shook her head. "Captain, I'm not saying we shouldn't help. I'm saying this could be a trap. The Andara system has a reputation. Dangerous gravity wells, violent weather patterns, unstable ground. We could lose half the ship just trying to land. And if there's someone waiting for us." Ryan smiled, a small curve of his lips. "Then we'll show them what humans can do. No one survives like Deathworlders, Claire, not even the hardest alien predators." Claire didn't answer. She knew arguing with Ryan was pointless. He had seen horrors on worlds no human should visit and live to tell the story. The man had a way of surviving when everyone else would have died. Still, she could feel a knot of worry twisting in her stomach. This was different. The signal was weak, almost desperate, and they didn't know who or what they were going to meet. "Prepare the ship," Ryan said. "We're going in." Within minutes, the Iron Horizon's engines roared to life. The ship vibrated under their feet, and the faint hum of machinery filled the bridge. Crew members moved quickly, checking systems, securing weapons, and ensuring the small medical bay was ready. Ryan watched them all, feeling a strange mixture of pride and caution. He trusted his team. They were survivors just like him. Luke Palmer, the engineer, could fix almost anything under impossible conditions. Olivia Grant, the medic, had healed injuries that should have been fatal. Together, they were unstoppable. As the ship exited hyperspace near the Andara system, Ryan stared at the planets in front of him. The signal had come from the third planet, a glowing blue-green world that looked peaceful from orbit. But he had learned long ago that appearances were often wrong. Deathworlders learned to expect the unexpected. "Sensors are picking up movement on the surface," Claire said, frowning at the readings. "It's faint, but something large is moving near the city coordinates. It doesn't look like any animal I know of." Ryan's eyes narrowed. "Good. That means they're alive, and if something is moving, that means it's hunting." The small alien city appeared on the main screen. Unlike human settlements, it seemed delicate, fragile, almost like it could shatter with the wrong touch. Towers made of crystal-like materials rose above the surface, connected by thin bridges. Lights shimmered along the structures, giving the impression that the city itself was alive. Ryan could feel it in his bones. This was not a world built for defense. Any predator could tear it apart, and yet someone had called for help, hoping that someone strong would come. "We'll land near the eastern bridge," Ryan said. "It's the widest point. We can get in and assess without causing damage." "I don't want to crush their city before we even meet them," Claire nodded. "Understood, but remember, Captain, the ground there is unstable. Sensors show weak soil layers. We need to lower the landing gear slowly, or we risk breaking through." Ryan ignored the warning in his mind. He had landed on worlds that would swallow entire ships, on planets where gravity would crush normal humans instantly. He knew what to do. As the ship descended, the city below came into focus. Small figures moved between the crystal towers, and Ryan's heart skipped a beat. They were tiny, delicate, and fragile. The aliens were clearly intelligent. They were organizing, moving carefully, but their bodies looked soft, almost childlike. Ryan realized that these beings had never faced real danger before. Their lives had been quiet until now, and now they were desperate. "Bring us down gently," Ryan said. "Let's see what we're dealing with." The ship touched the ground with a soft thud, dust and small debris swirling around. Crew members grabbed their equipment, weapons, and medical supplies. Ryan's boots hit the alien soil, and he could feel the vibration of the planet beneath him. It was alive, unpredictable, and ready to test them. Ilari, the alien species, began to approach. Their movements were cautious, hesitant, and their eyes, large, luminous, and wide, were filled with fear and awe. Ryan held up a hand in a gesture of peace, knowing they might misunderstand. One of the aliens stepped forward, her glowing skin shimmering in the faint sunlight. She was tall for her species, her hands trembling slightly. You are here?" she asked, her voice soft and musical, unlike anything Ryan had heard before. We called for help. We did not expect." Ryan smiled gently. "I told you we'd come. My name is Ryan Hayes. These are my crew members. We heard your call." "Tell us what's wrong." The alien woman glanced at the city behind her, then back at Ryan. "Predators, they come every night. They destroy everything. We cannot stop them. We hide, but we—" Her voice broke, and she looked down at the ground. Ryan felt a familiar fire in his chest. This was what humans did best: protect, survive, fight when others could not. "Show me where they are," he said. "We'll handle it." The alien hesitated. You are strong. You can fight them." Ryan looked at Claire, then back at the alien. "We are human. We come from worlds that will eat you alive if you are not careful. Don't worry about strength. We'll handle it. You just need to stay safe." Luke Palmer and Olivia Grant set up equipment nearby. Luke scanned the surrounding area for energy readings, while Olivia prepared medical supplies just in case. The aliens watched, still unsure, still fearful, but a glimmer of hope appeared in their eyes. Ryan could feel their awe. They had never seen humans before, and he knew it. Humans were strange in the galaxy. They could survive in environments no other species could. They were feared, respected, and sometimes hated. But no one had the instinct to fight like humans. No one could stand against danger like a Deathworlder. "Take us to the Eastern Ridge," Ryan said to the alien woman. "We want to see where the predators are coming from." She nodded quickly and led the way. Her steps were careful, almost fragile, but Ryan noticed something in the way she moved. Fear mixed with determination. She wanted to save her people, even though she had no idea how. As they moved through the city, Ryan observed everything. The bridges, the towers, the shimmering lights. It was beautiful, but it was delicate. One wrong step, one miscalculation, and the city could collapse. He made a mental note to be careful. Humans were strong, yes, but they were also big. Too much force could destroy this place before the predators even arrived. They reached the Eastern Ridge just as the sun began to set. Shadows stretched long across the city, and Ryan could see movement in the distance. Large shapes, faster than anything he had expected. The predators, his instincts told him these were not normal creatures. They were hunters, pure and simple. They had adapted to this world perfectly, and they had preyed on the Ilari for years. Ryan turned to Claire. "Get the sensors up. I want every movement, every shadow mapped. We're going to plan this like a hunt, and when we move together. No mistakes." Claire nodded, already working on her tablet. "Captain, the aliens, they are watching. They have never seen this kind of planning before. They might be scared." Ryan looked at the alien woman standing beside him. Her hands trembled, but her eyes shone with hope. "Let them watch," he said. "They'll see what humans do when someone needs saving." As night fell over the city, Ryan and his crew prepared for the first human-led defense the Ilari had ever witnessed. The predators would come, but they did not know what waited for them. Deathworlders never played fair. They fought and they survived. That was all anyone needed to know. And somewhere deep in Ryan's mind, he felt the thrill of the hunt rising. This was exactly where he belonged, on the edge of danger, with the weak depending on him and the impossible waiting to be conquered. The humans had arrived. The Ilari would never be the same again. The sun had disappeared below the horizon, and the city of the Ilari was bathed in soft blue light. The glowing towers reflected faintly on the ground, and every small movement in the city was visible against the shadows. Captain Ryan Hayes stood on the Eastern Ridge with his crew, watching carefully. The predators had not yet appeared, but their presence was clear. The humans could sense it in the air, the subtle vibrations, the rustle of distant trees, and the faint scent of something large moving nearby. "Captain," said Claire Benson, her voice calm but tense, "the readings show multiple predators approaching from the north and west. They are faster than I expected. If we wait too long, they could reach the city before we are ready." Ryan nodded, his eyes scanning the horizon. Then we don't wait. Let's make sure they know what's coming. He turned to Luke Palmer, the engineer, and Olivia Grant, the medic. Set the traps and get the sensors up. Make sure we know their every step. Luke grinned, his hands moving quickly over his portable equipment. Don't worry, Captain. I've got a few surprises for our friends tonight. He set up small devices along the ridge, devices that could detect movement, heat, and energy. The humans had tools and instincts the Elari had never seen before. The alien woman who had introduced herself as Lyra watched silently, her large eyes wide. She had never imagined beings like these before. The humans began their work. They moved carefully yet confidently. Every step was measured, every action precise. Ryan walked among the traps, checking each one. He adjusted a few, added subtle modifications, and made sure the team was ready. "What are you doing?" Lyra asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Ryan smiled faintly. "We are preparing. The predators are smart, but we are smarter. You will see. You do not need to hide anymore." She looked at him, unsure. Her people had lived in fear for as long as anyone could remember. To them, strength was a dream, something they could never reach. And yet here were these humans, showing power and courage that made her heart beat faster. Night fell completely, and the shadows grew longer. Ryan stood at the edge of the ridge, his eyes trained on the forest where the predators were hiding. His body, honed by years on Deathworlds, was ready for anything. He could hear the subtle shift of earth, the snapping of branches, and the faint growls that sent shivers through the air. "They are coming," Claire said softly. "I can see the movement on the sensors." "They are cautious, but they know we are here," Ryan nodded. "Good, let them think they have a chance. It will make the surprise even better." He drew a long, slow breath. "Luke, trigger the first set when they reach the clearing. Olivia, be ready. We may need your help fast." Lyra and the other Elari watched silently. They could not believe the confidence and calm of these humans. The predators had terrorized their city for years, and yet here was a group that looked at them without fear. For the first time in their lives, they felt hope. The sound of movement grew louder. Trees swayed, leaves rustled, and the predators emerged from the forest. They were larger than Ryan had imagined, with thick, armored hides and sharp claws that gleamed in the faint light. Their eyes glowed faintly red, reflecting the humans and the city behind them. They moved like shadows, silent but deadly. "Now," Ryan said. Luke pressed a button, and small traps hidden along the ridge activated. Nets shot out, catching two of the predators and holding them briefly. The creatures roared, shaking free with terrifying strength, but it slowed their advance. Ryan and Claire moved forward, weapons raised. The first predator lunged, but Ryan was ready. He dodged quickly, using its momentum against it. With a swift movement, he struck a weak point in its armor, and the creature fell to the ground, stunned. Claire fired a pulse weapon, hitting another predator's leg and slowing it down. The humans moved like a single organism, each action precise, each decision fast and deadly. Lyra gasped. They are strong. I have never seen anything like this." Ryan glanced at her briefly. "Strength is not enough. You need skill, strategy, and courage. That is what makes humans dangerous. Watch." The predators attacked in waves, but the humans were ready. Luke set traps that detonated small bursts of energy, sending predators flying backward. Olivia moved carefully, healing minor injuries quickly and keeping the team going. Ryan led a small group into the heart of the attackers, striking with brutal efficiency. Each predator that came close was met with calculated force, showing no mercy but also no carelessness. The Elari watched in awe. Their fear turned into wonder. These humans were unlike anything they had imagined. They were not just fighters, they were hunters, strategists, and protectors all at once. Every movement seemed perfect, every action deadly. Lyra's eyes were wide with disbelief, and her hands trembled. "Captain," Claire said, her voice tense but controlled, "they're regrouping, more coming from the south." Ryan nodded. "Let them come, they will learn quickly what humans are capable of." He looked at the predators advancing from the southern ridge. Their numbers were larger than before, but the humans did not falter. They had faced worse and survived. This was just another challenge. The predators charged again, faster and more coordinated this time. Ryan met the first head-on, dodging a swipe and striking at the creature's joint. It roared, staggering back. Claire and Luke worked together to trap another two predators, using clever devices that shocked and restrained them without causing permanent harm. Olivia was moving rapidly, applying healing sprays and bandages where needed. Lyra could hardly breathe. She had never imagined creatures could be this strong, this fast, and yet here were humans standing against them with calm determination. How can they fight like this?" she whispered. Ryan caught a glimpse of her and smiled faintly. "We fight because we must, and we survive because we never give up. That is what it means to be human. We do not fear, we do not hesitate, we fight until the end." The predators began to falter under the humans' relentless defense. One by one, they were caught, stunned, or forced to retreat. Ryan moved like a shadow among them, striking quickly and pulling back, always aware of his team's position and the safety of the city below. Hours passed, though it felt like minutes to the humans. Finally, the predators stopped their attack. Those that remained retreated back into the forest, wounded and wary. The humans stood on the ridge, breathing heavily but victorious. Lyra and the other Elari rushed forward cautiously. Their delicate hands reached out to touch the humans, almost afraid they might disappear if they were too close. You saved us," Lyra said, her voice trembling. I cannot believe it. You are incredible." Ryan looked at her, his face serious but gentle. "We did what we had to do. You are safe now. That is what matters." Claire stepped forward, her eyes scanning the surrounding forest. "The predators are retreating, but we should remain alert. They may come back, but we will be ready, always." Lyra nodded, still in awe. "Your strength, your courage, it is beyond anything we imagined. We have lived in fear for centuries, and you changed everything tonight." Ryan smiled faintly. "Humans have a saying. We survive because we fight, and we fight because we care. You called for help, and we answered. That is all." The Elari began to move among their city, inspecting the damage and tending to the wounded. Their delicate voices carried a mix of relief and awe. Ryan watched them, understanding that they had just witnessed something that would stay with them forever. Humans were not just another species. They were Deathworlders. They were unstoppable when others needed them. Luke and Olivia began packing up their equipment, while Claire monitored the sensors for any remaining threats. Ryan stood on the ridge, looking down at the city. The night was quiet now, the predators gone for the moment, and the stars above shone brightly. "You think they understand what we are?" Claire asked quietly, standing beside him. Ryan shook his head slowly. "They will try to, but no one really understands humans until they see what we can do when someone is in danger. They will remember this night forever." Lyra approached, her glowing eyes shining with gratitude. "Please stay with us, teach us, help us prepare. We need your strength." Ryan looked at her and then at his crew. "We will help for now, but you must remember something. Strength is not enough. You must learn courage, skill, and the will to survive. That is what makes humans dangerous, and that is what will keep you safe in the future." The alien woman nodded slowly, her eyes filled with determination and wonder. For the first time, she believed that her people could survive, not because they were strong, but because humans had shown them that survival was possible. The humans stayed on the ridge for a while longer, watching the city and the forest beyond. They were ready for anything, calm in the face of danger, and prepared to protect those who could not protect themselves. Deathworlders always were. And somewhere deep in the shadows, the predators began to stir again, but this time they knew that humans were not like any other prey. They were hunters, protectors, and survivors. They were unstoppable. The night was quiet, but Ryan Hayes knew it was only temporary. From his time on Deathworlds, he understood that predators rarely stayed away for long. He could feel the tension in the air, the subtle vibration of the planet beneath his boots, and the faint rustle of distant leaves. Something was moving, and soon the predators would return. "Captain," Claire Benson said, her eyes fixed on the sensors, "they are regrouping. There are more than before, and they are moving faster. If we don't act soon, the city could be overrun before dawn." Ryan nodded. "Then we prepare. We do not wait for them. We go to them." He turned to Luke Palmer, the engineer, who was already checking the devices and traps along the eastern ridge. "Luke, double the traps. Make sure the nets can hold even the largest predators. Set the shock emitters to maximum. We want to scare them, not just slow them." Luke smiled. "Already on it, Captain. By the time they reach us, they won't know what hit them." Olivia Grant, the medic, checked the supply kits again. "I've got healing sprays, bandages, stimulants. We should be able to handle anything that gets past the traps." Ryan nodded. "Good, Claire. I want a full map of their movement patterns. I need to know where each predator will strike and when." Claire worked quickly, her fingers flying over the tablet. "I'm tracking them. They are coordinating better this time. It seems they learned from the last encounter, but their planning is primitive compared to ours. We can use that." Ryan looked out over the city. The Ilari were hiding now, gathering in the safest zones, away from the streets and bridges. Lyra approached him, her luminous eyes wide with worry. "Captain, what will happen? Will they come back?" she asked softly. Ryan crouched slightly so he could look at her. "They will come back. Predators are like that. They hunt until they are stopped, but don't worry. We are going to stop them, and when we do, you will never have to fear them again." Lyra shivered, but she nodded. I trust you, but your people, your humans, they are incredible. I have never seen anyone fight like that." Ryan smiled faintly. "It is what we do. We survive. We protect, that is all." The humans began moving through the city to prepare for the attack. Ryan led a small team to the southern approach, where the predators were expected to come from. They moved carefully, avoiding delicate structures and bridges. Each step was calculated. Humans were large compared to the Ilari, but Ryan made sure they caused no damage. Luke set more traps along the streets. Small devices that could shock, ensnare, and confuse the predators were placed in patterns that would guide them into kill zones. Claire adjusted sensors to detect movement and heat, while Olivia checked on any Ilari who had minor injuries or needed reassurance. Ryan paused for a moment and looked at the city. It was fragile, beautiful, and alive, but tonight it would become a battlefield. He could feel it in his bones. The predators were clever, but they had never faced humans like this before. Deathworlders did not fight with fear or hesitation. They fought with instinct, skill, and precision. Night deepened and the shadows stretched across the city. The predators began to emerge from the forest again, moving silently but with purpose. Ryan and his team waited, hidden behind structures and traps. Their eyes glowed faintly in the low light, scanning for movement. "Captain, they're coming," Claire said softly. "All directions." "It's more than we expected," Ryan nodded. "Then we give them a welcome they will never forget." The first predator stepped into a trap. A net shot out, wrapping around it and sending shocks through its body. The creature roared, thrashing violently, but it was caught. Another predator lunged, and Ryan met it head-on, dodging its claws and striking at its weak spots. The humans moved like a single unit, each one knowing the other's position and strategy. The predators were large, strong, and fast, but they had never seen humans fight like this. Ryan dodged, struck, and pulled back, while Claire fired precision shots from a distance. Luke's devices confused and slowed the predators, and Olivia healed and supported the team whenever needed. The Ilari watched from safe zones, their eyes wide in awe. They had lived in fear for generations, hiding while predators destroyed their homes, and now they saw humans standing against the impossible. Ryan's movements were precise, Claire's strategy flawless, and the combined strength of the humans was terrifying. "Look at them," Lyra whispered. They are not just strong, they are unstoppable." Ryan could hear her, but he did not answer. His focus was on the predators. They were relentless, but so were the humans. Each attack, each trap, each strike was calculated. The predators began to realize they were outmatched, but instincts told them to fight. They were hunters, and hunters rarely quit. Hours passed. The humans' endurance was unmatched. Ryan led the charge into the heart of the attacking predators, dodging, striking, and retreating only to strike again. Claire coordinated the defense, ensuring that every predator that broke through traps was met with precise counterattacks. Luke's devices stunned, slowed, and confused the predators, and Olivia moved quickly, saving injured humans and Ilari alike. Finally, the predators began to retreat. Their numbers thinned, their attacks became hesitant, and their confidence faltered. The humans had not only stopped them, they had dominated the battlefield. Ryan stood on a high ridge, watching the last of the predators disappear into the forest. His chest heaved, his hands were scratched and bruised, but he felt no fear. This was what humans did best. They survived, they protected, they conquered danger that no one else could face. The Ilari cautiously emerged from their hiding places. Their eyes were wide with awe and fear. Lyra stepped forward, her hands trembling. You have saved us again," she said softly. I cannot understand your people. You are." Ryan shook his head gently. "We are human, that is all. We fight, we survive, and we protect. You do not need to understand it. You just need to know that we are here and we will not fail." Claire joined him, wiping sweat from her brow. "Captain, they are shaken. The predators are retreating for good, but we should remain alert. They may try again, but we are ready for them." Ryan nodded. "Always, that is the difference. Humans never stop, we never hesitate. We face danger and we survive, and that is why we are different." The Alari began moving through the city, inspecting damage and tending to their wounded. They had lived in fear for centuries, hiding from predators that destroyed their homes, and now they had seen humans fight. For the first time, they realized that strength and courage were possible. Lyra approached Ryan once more. "Please stay with us, teach us, help us prepare. We need your people's strength." Ryan smiled faintly. "We will help for now, but remember this. Strength alone is not enough. You must have courage, skill, and the will to survive. Humans are strong because we never give up. You must learn that too." She nodded slowly, determination in her eyes. "We will try. We will not forget this night. Never." The humans began packing up, their work far from finished. They had secured the city for now, but Ryan knew the predators could return. Deathworlders always expected the worst. They were ready for anything. The night was quiet again, but Ryan felt the energy of the world around him. The city, fragile as it was, had been defended. The Alari would remember this forever. They had seen humans, and they had seen strength unlike any other. Somewhere in the forest, the predators stirred. But they knew now that they were no match for humans. Deathworlders were not like other species. They fought, they survived, and they never stopped. Ryan looked up at the stars, thinking about the worlds he had faced, the dangers he had survived, and the people he had protected. This was exactly where he belonged, on the edge of danger, with the weak depending on him and the impossible waiting to be conquered. Humans were unstoppable, and tonight they had proven it again. The next morning, the Alari city was quiet, but the humans did not relax. Ryan Hayes knew that predators rarely gave up so easily. They might have been forced back last night, but they would return if the humans let them. He moved through the city with Claire Benson, Luke Palmer, and Olivia Grant, inspecting the traps and checking the defenses. "We need a plan," Claire said, her eyes scanning the sensors. "They will come again, and this time they may attack from multiple sides. The city is too fragile for a direct fight." Ryan nodded. "Then we do what we do best. We use what they do not expect. Humans survive where others fail. We will lead them into traps, control the battlefield, and strike with precision. That is how we win." Luke Palmer adjusted a small device that hummed softly. "I've set up more traps along the southern ridge and the eastern approaches. If they come through the forest again, they will be caught before reaching the city. And if they try the cliffs, I've got devices that will slow them down." Olivia checked the medical supplies. "I'm ready for anything. Injuries, toxins, shock, you name it, we'll handle it." Ryan looked over at Lyra, who was watching the humans with awe. "We need your people to cooperate," he said. "You cannot hide. You need to help us guide the predators. I will show you where to stay, what to do, and when to act. Trust us." Lyra nodded. I will do whatever you say. We cannot survive without your help." Ryan smiled faintly. "Good, that is the first step. Trust." By mid-morning, the humans and Alari were ready. Lyra and a few other volunteers had been instructed on where to position themselves safely. They would monitor predator movement and guide the humans' traps. Ryan and Claire led the team along the northern ridge, while Luke and Olivia moved along the southern side, maintaining traps and preparing medical support. Hours passed. The city remained quiet, but Ryan knew the predators were near. Their movements were slow but deliberate. Deathworlders could feel such things. Ryan crouched behind a crystalline tower, listening. The soft snap of a branch, the rustle of leaves, the faint sound of breathing, all signals that the predators were moving. "They're here," Claire whispered, pointing to the sensors. "More than last night and faster. They've learned." Ryan nodded. "Good. That means they think they can challenge us. Let's show them what humans can do." The first predators emerged from the forest. They were larger and faster than the ones from the previous night. Their glowing red eyes fixed on the city, their claws clicking against the hard ground. Ryan signaled to Luke. "Trigger the northern traps," he said. Luke pressed a button. Nets shot out from hidden devices, catching 3 predators instantly. Shock emitters activated, sending pulses that disoriented and slowed the creatures. The predators roared in anger, but they could not free themselves immediately. Ryan and Claire moved forward with precision. Their weapons struck at weak spots in the predator's armor, each blow calculated to incapacitate rather than kill outright. Humans fought differently from other species. They combined strength, skill, and strategy. Every movement was designed to survive and control the battlefield. The Alari watched in awe. They had never seen anything like this before. Their fragile city had survived one night of attacks, and now humans were taking the fight directly to the predators. Lyra could hardly believe her eyes. How can they be so strong and so smart?" she whispered. Ryan glanced at her briefly. "We fight because we must, we survive because we never stop. That is what makes humans different." The predators adjusted their attack, trying to avoid the traps, but the humans had predicted this. Claire signaled, and another set of nets and emitters activated along the southern ridge. Two predators were caught, struggling and roaring. Ryan moved quickly, striking one in a weak joint, and it fell, stunned. Luke moved among the traps, adjusting devices as the predators tried to avoid them. Olivia worked tirelessly, healing minor injuries and keeping the humans in peak condition. The humans were a single unit, precise and deadly. Hours passed. The predators continued to attack in waves, but the humans controlled every movement. Each predator that broke through traps was met with precise strikes. The humans were faster, stronger, and smarter than the predators could ever imagine. Lyra and the other Elari began to move cautiously among the safe zones, helping guide the humans and alerting them to predator movement. For the first time, they were not just hiding. They were participating in their own defense, inspired by humans' courage and skill. Ryan watched from the northern ridge as the final wave of predators approached. They were larger and more aggressive than the first, but the humans did not falter. Ryan signaled, and the final set of traps activated, ensnaring the largest predators. The humans moved in coordinated strikes, taking down the remaining creatures one by one. Finally, the battlefield was quiet. The predators had either fled or been incapacitated. The humans stood tall, breathing heavily but victorious. The Elari cautiously approached, their eyes wide with awe and disbelief. You saved us," Lyra said softly. "Again." I cannot understand it. Your people, you're humans, you are." Ryan shook his head gently. "We are human, that is all. We fight, we survive, and we protect. You do not need to understand it. You just need to know that we are here and we will not fail." Claire stepped forward, her eyes scanning the surrounding forest. "The predators are gone for now, but we should remain alert. They may try again, but we are ready, always." Lyra nodded, still in awe. "Your strength, your courage, it is beyond anything we imagined. We have lived in fear for centuries, and you changed everything tonight." Ryan smiled faintly. "Humans survive because we fight because we care, that is all, and tonight you saw it for yourself." The Elari began moving through the city, inspecting damage and tending to their wounded. They had lived in fear for centuries, hiding while predators destroyed their homes, and now they had seen humans fight. For the first time, they realized that strength and courage were possible. Lyra approached Ryan once more. "Please stay with us, teach us, help us prepare. We need your people's strength." Ryan smiled faintly. "We will help for now, but remember this. Strength alone is not enough. You must have courage, skill, and the will to survive. Humans are strong because we never give up. You must learn that too." She nodded slowly, determination in her eyes. "We will try. We will not forget this night. Never." The humans stayed on the ridge for a while longer, checking the city and the surrounding forests. They were ready for anything, calm in the face of danger, and prepared to protect those who could not protect themselves. Deathworlders always were. Somewhere deep in the forest, the predators stirred again, but this time they knew that they were no match for humans. Deathworlders were not like other species. They fought, they survived, and they never stopped. Ryan looked up at the stars, thinking about the worlds he had faced, the dangers he had survived, and the people he had protected. This was exactly where he belonged, on the edge of danger, with the weak depending on him and the impossible waiting to be conquered. Humans were unstoppable, and tonight they had proven it again. The sun rose over the Elari city, bathing the crystalline towers in warm, golden light. The predators had not returned, and the city seemed peaceful for the first time in generations. Ryan Hayes stood on the eastern ridge, looking down at the glowing streets and bridges. His crew, Claire Benson, Luke Palmer, and Olivia Grant, stood beside him, exhausted but proud. "We've done what we came to do," Ryan said quietly, his voice carrying a mix of relief and pride. "The predators are gone for now. The city is safe." Claire glanced at the sensors. "It's quiet, Captain, too quiet. We should remain alert, but I think the worst is over. They have learned who they are dealing with." Lyra approached, her glowing eyes bright with a mixture of gratitude and wonder. You saved us all. I cannot thank you enough. My people, they will never forget this." Ryan shook his head. "No thanks needed. We did what anyone should do. You called for help and we answered. That is all." Luke Palmer stepped forward, adjusting the last of the sensors. Captain, I think the traps and devices are working perfectly. Even if the predators try to come back, they won't get far. We've mapped the forest paths, set up early warnings, and reinforced weak points. Olivia Grant nodded. And I've trained the volunteers in basic first aid and emergency care. Your people can help themselves now. They won't be helpless if danger comes again. Lyra looked at each of them in awe. Your people, your humans, they are not like any other species. They are incredible. Strong, smart, fearless. I cannot understand how you survive in the universe the way you do. Ryan smiled faintly. We survive because we fight, and we fight because we care. That is all. It is not magic. It is instinct, and it is what makes humans different. The Alari slowly began emerging from their safe zones. They inspected the city, repairing minor damage and helping their wounded. For generations, they had hidden from predators, living in fear. Now they were learning to act, to move, and to survive, and the humans had shown them the way. Lyra approached Ryan again, her voice trembling slightly. Please stay with us for a while. Teach us how to defend ourselves, show us how to survive. We need your guidance. Ryan looked at his crew, then back at Lyra. We can help for now, he said. But remember this, strength is nothing without courage, skill is nothing without practice. And survival comes from never giving up, no matter the danger. Humans are dangerous because we never stop, never hesitate, and never surrender. You must learn that too. The Alari nodded slowly, understanding dawning in their eyes. They had never seen such strength, such fearlessness. Humans had not just defeated the predators, they had changed the way the Alari saw themselves. Over the next few days, Ryan and his team worked with the Alari, teaching them simple strategies to defend their city. They showed them how to set traps, how to read predator movements, and how to stay calm under pressure. Lyra and several other volunteers learned quickly, inspired by the humans' skill and courage. Claire Benson trained the Alari in observation and strategy. Watch carefully, she instructed. Predators leave patterns. They move the same way every time. Learn their patterns and you will know how to stay safe. Humans survive because we notice, we plan, and we act. Luke Palmer showed them how to maintain simple devices. Even small tools can give you an advantage, he said. You don't need to be strong to be smart. Set traps, watch sensors, and be ready. That is how you survive. Olivia Grant taught the Alari basic medicine. You don't need me forever, she said. Learn how to heal each other. Know what to do if someone is hurt. Humans survive because we take care of each other. That is as important as fighting. Ryan spent his time observing. He saw the change in the Alari. They were no longer hiding in fear. Their shoulders straightened, their steps became confident, and their eyes held a spark of courage. Humans had shown them that survival was possible, that fear could be overcome, and that even the weakest species could protect themselves with guidance and strategy. One evening, as the sun set and the city glowed softly, Lyra approached Ryan with a small group of elders. Captain Hayes, my people, they wish to honor you. You have saved us, and you have taught us what it means to survive. Please accept our gratitude. Ryan shook his head. No honor needed. We did what anyone should do. The important thing is that you now know how to protect yourselves. That is your real honor. But the Alari insisted. They presented small gifts, crystals that glowed softly, symbols of protection, and delicate items representing courage and strength. Ryan accepted them with a nod, appreciating the gesture but not dwelling on it. Humans did not seek praise. They acted because it was right. That night, the city was calm. For the first time in generations, the Alari slept without fear. Ryan and his crew stood on the eastern ridge, looking out over the glowing towers. The predators had been driven back, the city was safe, and the Alari had begun to learn what it meant to survive. Claire spoke quietly. Captain, the Alari, they will remember this forever. They will never forget what humans did for them. Ryan nodded. They will remember. And they will also remember what it means to survive. Humans are not just fighters. We are survivors, protectors, and hunters. That is how we make our mark on the universe. Luke Palmer leaned against the ridge, watching the forest. Do you think the predators will come back? Ryan smiled faintly. Maybe, but if they do, the Alari will be ready, and we will be ready too. Deathworlders always are. Olivia Grant looked at the city below. They have hope now. That is what matters. Humans give hope even to those who never thought it possible. Ryan placed a hand on her shoulder. Hope is a tool just like strength and skill. It makes people fight when they have nothing else. That is why humans survive. We fight not just for ourselves, but for others. That is what makes us dangerous, and what makes us heroes in ways other species cannot understand. The Elari had begun rebuilding, stronger and more confident than ever before. They had seen humans face impossible danger and survive. They had learned that even the most fragile species could defend themselves with courage, skill, and guidance, and they would remember the humans who had shown them the way. As the humans prepared to leave the city, Lyra approached Ryan one final time. "Captain, will you return?" she asked, hope in her eyes. Ryan shook his head gently. "We cannot stay forever, our duty lies elsewhere, but remember this, humans are everywhere and we will come when we are needed. You now have the knowledge to protect yourselves, use it. Teach it and never forget what it means to survive." Lyra nodded, tears shining in her eyes. "We will never forget. You, your people, you are more than we imagined. Humans are unstoppable." Ryan smiled faintly, feeling the weight of the world he carried on his shoulders. "We are human, that is all. Now it is time for you to be brave." The crew boarded the Iron Horizon, the ship's engines humming to life. As they lifted off, Ryan looked down at the Elari city. The glowing towers sparkled like stars, and the people below waved in gratitude. For the first time in generations, the city was safe, not just because the predators were gone, but because its people had learned to survive. Claire Benson glanced at Ryan. "Do you ever think about the other worlds out there, the ones that need help?" Ryan nodded. "All the time. There are worlds that will call and we will answer. That is what humans do. We survive, we fight, and we protect. No one else can do what we do, and we never stop." Luke Palmer grinned. "Sounds like adventure awaits." Ryan smiled faintly. "Adventure, danger, survival, it is all the same to humans. We face it and we endure. That is why we are different. That is why we are unstoppable." The ship entered hyperspace, leaving the Elari city behind. But Ryan knew the lessons they had taught would last forever. The predators had been driven back, the city was safe, and the Elari would never forget the humans who had shown them what it meant to survive. Somewhere deep in the Andara forest, the predators stirred. But now they knew that humans had been there. They had seen the strength, skill, and courage of Deathworlders. They had faced humans and they had lost. Ryan leaned back in his chair, looking at the stars. "Another world saved," he said softly. "Another people inspired. That is what we do. That is what humans are." Claire glanced at him. "And there will be more, won't there?" Ryan smiled faintly, eyes fixed on the endless stars. "Always we are human, and humans never stop." The Iron Horizon moved through the galaxy, ready for the next call, the next danger, and the next world in need. The humans had come, and the universe would never forget them.